Welcome the students of class 7. Welcome to our social science e-learning class. And today in this class we are going to discuss a very important topic about the Mughals, and it is in the chapter number 4 and page number 51 of your history book. And today's this topic is Mansabdars and Jagirdars. Okay. So these two are the very two important posts in the time of Mughals. So what are the meaning of these two posts? That Mughals at the time, they employed many groups and diverse people in their service from many parts of the subcontinent, such as Uzbeks, Indian Muslims, the Turanis, mean the Turks, as well as the Marathas, Rajputs, Afghans, and others. Okay, so among them, some people they called as Mansabdar. So what is Mansabdar? That a Mansabdar refers to an individual who holds a number or rank, and who had some military responsibility, and they had to maintain a specific number of soldiers, and in the time of war they helped with that soldier to the Mughal emperor or Badshah. So this is called the Mansabdar. And in Mansabdar's army there are particular number of horses, means horsemen, as well as the paidal or foot soldiers present. And rank and salary of the Mansabdar determined by the numerical value called Zat. So the numerical value, that how many soldiers they maintained as Sawars, this is called the Zat. And noble with the Zat of 5,000 were ranked higher than 1,000. So in this way there are several ranks, and these are called different Mansabdar, such as 1 Hazari, 1 Hazari Mansabdar, 2 Hazari, 5 Hazari Mansabdar, etc. Okay. So in Akbar's reign there are 29 Mansabdars were present who maintained 5,000 soldiers each. Okay, so these are, so means 29 5 Hazari Mansabdar was present in the Akbar's reign. But in this means that the higher the Zat, the more prestigious was the noble's position. And this 5,000, 1,000, 2,000, so these are the Zat. Okay, these numbers. So these are the numbers of men, numbers of horsemen they maintained. These are called Zat. Okay. So in the time of the Mansabdar had to maintain a certain number of Sawar or horsemen or cavalrymen, and he brought them for review called Hulia. So they brought them for review. So the review, the officials of the emperor, they reviewed that the Mansabdar would maintain the number of soldiers or not, maintain the number of cavalrymen or not, and they actually drawn the facial the features of the particular soldier. Okay, as well as they marked the horses. So in this way, and there that is called Dag. So marking horses is called Dag, and the facial features record, the record of the facial features, it called Hulia. So these are already introduced by before that in the time of Alauddin Khilji, and that was more developed by Sher Shah Suri, and Akbar also continued that process. And horses branded in this way, and they received money for their salary in terms of the horses and cavalrymen. But one thing, they received salaries not in money. Actually they got some land grant or revenue assignments. These are called Jagirs. Jagirs are same as Iktas in the Sultani period, and in Jagirs they had to maintain, they had paid a small piece of land or a district as Jagir, and their servants collected revenues from the peasants living on that land. These are called, okay, so these are, and those revenue used to pay the salary of the soldiers and as well as the salary of the Mansabdar himself. So in this way they maintained the Mansabdari system. But Mansabdars not ruled that Jagir like Ikta. Like in Ikta system, Jagirdars actually they ruled the Ikta system. The Muktis ruled the territory. But in this case, they not ruled the territory. Someone else ruled the territory as Subadar, or the governor of that particular province. Okay, Subadar or Talukdar ruled the province. The Mansabdar, they only collected the revenue. Sometimes, most of the cases, the Mansabdar serving in some other parts of the country. Suppose the Mansabdar is fighting battle in Gujarat, but his Mansab is present in Bengal. It was happened. Okay. So in Akbar's reign, Jagirs were carefully assessed so that the revenues were roughly equal of the Mansabdars. And in Aurangzeb's reign, but there was some problem, because the increase in the number of Mansabdars, so many Mansabdars at that time, so Jagirs was not sufficient for distributing. So they had to wait for long for the grant of Jagir. And as well as revenues collected also very less compared to the actual sum. They granted the revenues equal to their number of soldiers as per the number of soldiers maintained by them. But in this case, the land is very small, so that's why it's not possible to collect as much as revenue same to fulfill their demand and to pay their soldiers. Okay, this is a problem. This type of problem created in the later part of Mughal Empire. Because of this, Jagirdars tried to collect as much as revenue while they had a Jagir. So what happened when once they got a Jagir, after a long wait, they tried to collect as much as revenue from the land and the peasants. So what happened because of this? The peasants become angry and famine occurred. They not able to pay their revenues. And Aurangzeb was not able to control this type of things, and peasants suffered tremendously, and famine occurred in some part of Indian subcontinent. And it was one of the major problem, the Jagirdari problem, okay, and the Mansabdari dispute. This was the major problem of the decline of the Mughal emperor. So students, I hope you have understood the Jagirdars and Mansabdars. Next class, in question of the session, we'll discuss about this matter, okay, more precisely. So thank you for watching. See you in the next class.